the whole process of getting to our citizens. We had the e-governance system here, we had Smart Zambia, and it was our idea. So this idea, if it's going to be rolled out, it should not be suddenly, overnight. No, you have to sensitize the people, you have to enlighten the people, you have to make available the little gadgets at little or no cost at all, so that they are able to utilize it. And those of us who grew up in the old days will remember that when we were changing from pounds, shillings, and pence to kwacha and ngwezi, we had a program which was rolled out by Dr. Kaunda, enlightening people how we're running away from pounds to kilograms, metric. You know, it took a long time. We were still in school, I remember. 1 dozen to a unit of 10, remember? So it's a process. So in short, kusupuka, your process, later, it's possible that we can get people to get access to support from the government, e-farming, social cash transfer. It can be done electronically. But there was kwenda kuwaiwa face wamfula waimako watampukula no, and eventually you walk, eventually you run. Number when I Africa play by masa fiance by onaula by number kumpinati social cash transfer. So they don't mean well. If they mean well, they would have taken their time. What a punch. You know, even when you want to change the mind of the people, you can't just wake up and say, take each other. No matter you have to engage them. So for me, I've got nothing against going electronic. Even in the electoral process, I've got nothing against going electronic. But we have to be satisfied that this is going to work. We have to make sure that the technology we are getting is reasonable, is accessible, and we have enough people with the intelligence to manage that technology. Social cash transfer, again, we will punka wega wega.
Your Excellency, ukufumepota kulanda kwa nimona tapai jo mtasishe kwa kutira Newton bali bombelecha so.
Tell me where we in Chulumendo.
Bali nishenchito ama nurses.
Forget about that. Ya masukulu bayingishamu wakafundisha. Masukulu yesu nikuwa kulile. Nafuwa nga twali tibeteka na mishanga twali inshallah wakafundisha. Tishi bachitini. Ya bala bakafundisha bengisha nafuwa nga twali insha nibino kuchirapo. Okay? Ba dokota na banasi kuvipatala. Sipatala vyesu vitu kulile. Nafuwa nga twali tibeteka na twali insha. So you can't begin boasting at not to ba doctor na banasi. You be analytical, ukani. That's what we are saying, uka. Question these things, scrutinize them and interrogate them, then you know the truth. Not about no, no. Zambians have woken up. Me, I woke up a long time, and I can tell you they've done nothing. Tell me what they've done, and I'll tell you that they are lying to you because you don't interrogate these things.
They have increased the CDF now from that CDF.
But look, 1.6 CDF was able to do roads. 1.6 CDF was able to do police force. 1.6 was able to do what you call bridges and so on. But 30 million, whatever. Chilenga fema tumba ya bantu. Ama classrooms vale panga, ama 3 by 1. Is it 1 by 3? What do you call them? People used to build the, you know, but now tell me, what's happening to capital projects in the Ministry of Education? Are you saying that because the CDF, you are no longer going to do secondary schools through the Ministry of Education? Are you saying that you're not going to build police stations using the main Ministry of Home Affairs? Are you going to say that you are going to build the prisons or correctional services centers like we did out of CDF? No. CDF is supposed to be supplemental to the area of Parliament where there are gaps. That's the intention. That is what it was, that's what it is. It is not supposed to replace capital projects and expenditure. Now, infrastructure, what are they doing? Where are new hospitals being constructed? Where are new schools being constructed? Where are new police stations being constructed? So for me, I think there is some magic here. But you see, we are now awake, not to walk away. So let's push up. If I was able to do work out of 1.6 million in shawarma, and now I'm failing to do out of 30 million in shawarma, I ask myself, I say, what's going on? There's something wrong here. So go and ask members of parliament to tell you where they've taken that money. And I warned members of parliament when this thing was introduced, the first time the president spoke to parliament that we're increasing, and I said, watch this because you are not paying them. Come to which I am paying them until Calorian paying them 30 million fish stuff. Finally, go and go to women 2026 to 31. Nasamba Munewa, quiet church. If you can stick. So wake up. Ukani my MPs.
Your Excellency, namlanda kopediashi ya vumbi. You said it was Kurama Hospital, for example, kuchisali kwa Chinsali General Hospital, kupeta uke hukumwesu kwa chipatali chikalamba icho mwakulile mkwai. Na mkalomo mkwai mwaba ama hospital, aya kalamba yotu wa mwana General Hospital. Nomba imopakuba nga intungurushu wakulile ifipatale fingi fyale kanalekana. Mchalo chesu cha Zambia, Cancer Hospital, Walisala. How do you feel? Maybe if in Fidiamare Kura, Tafia Quetobo, and Tacho.
Ah, we, now we show Zambians. But they won't fall with and they will feel a movie. Because we cannot have a cancer center or a cancer hospital here. We close it, then we begin sending people abroad. Because that's what we wanted to stop. So, all men do. Abatungula na wakashara batuteka shinani school. Bale mupira kwa abantu lose. Because those things were meant for poor people who can't afford their tickets, who can't afford to go and lodge with their family members in India, in Israel, in South Africa. They were meant to bring skills here. By bringing those hospitals here, we were meant to train our own doctors, bring our own equipment, and also benefit from health tourism and so on. So it's not very personal. No one is going that and so on. But they won't follow because these things were well meant. This thing to try to appreciate. But when exchange was being saved, and so on. And in the end,
recently, this Wilama schools, is it last week? Otherwise, from Lungu over Correa. Naimadi Jamade, Tungra Churches, which is Zambia, Wariko, Ishiteko, Correa, Shide, COVID, Yadi, Shide, but Tatuam when Ama schools, Uguisa, Romka, Mkashta, Akatari name for Ishing in the Futuam when Makonishan who control Correa na COVID-19.
COVID-19 was the most challenging experience we had as the PF government. It was novel, it was new, it was unknown, and people were just researching as it was afflicting our people. The researchers in the medical field who were doing procurement of medicines and so on were even not testing the drugs they were bringing. But because we were open-minded and we knew that we became innovative. We said children can stay at home and learn through online and all those things. And we said we will make sure that ministries run with only key personnel and so on. So we were innovative. So in short, what I'm saying is that, we were more innovative because we were affected by the suffering of the people. And we were under pressure at one time. I remember in cabinet we debated for a long time. Colleagues were saying, let's close the economy. Please have my shops, I'm not too kind of fiance. About for the Puma and because in Maisala Matuka, Maisala Soweto, Maisala fiance, even look up longer you can afford my fridges. My Quatifia Kuya, and my Quata, my fridges, my cold rooms, and so on. We feel my let's prove to young remendo, we have a basket of wash, coffee, more plastics. She, like a Fumisha, if you have we all Namai, we can shut tomato. Roadside, we are working with him. Akafunya polisi afya kulisha bana hapo COVID ikapuia but tuishi napo ikapuia. So talikene sana tualikene and we struggled and we were innovative and we brought new measures amwishyura mbulendument fyali ngachakwe watu wasanga mungu wake nobody wachitashani chiwairiwa ontokutwa kwako. And that's what we did. We came out with measures which were totally novel, totally new, and we contained the effects of COVID. The economy had food. People were able to go for work and produce and work. But our days back they started clothes. I'm going to my selection clothes. And the value travel decided, in fact, if I can recall very well, the UPND was saying, Ishalen, close the country. Close up. We refused because we realized that the suffering will not hit the rich, it will hit the poorest of the poor. And that's why we said, no, by giving them social distance. It was every day. We were enlightening people. Every day, Dora Syria and Salvation Fair was on radio and television giving bulletins on what's happening, explaining measures which they've discovered, and changing drugs and talking about vaccines and so on. We were with the people. So that's how we managed to contain COVID. And when these guys came, there was enough food in the food reserve agency, despite their having COVID. Vaisashtisha fefe yakuya. Fionse vashtisha, vatipota na munsana. Vatipota na mlimamode, you know. So, kusishiro kupenda mo, mabena Zambia venda mo uliti watu pende. So, what this the chirikuli iwe Zambia.
Your Excellency, the current government is saying that economy yetu lepitu kama issue pile ni pamanda utira ubutunguruchi wenu washire inkongole ishire ngero utira abantu balechura palika na mashitantana n'isuchaza
inkongole ndakale cyo kwata inkongole. That's why mchile mbatira inkongole wingi shimbi ngafana shimbi nkalula inkongole so wale bali kongola. You don't know that they've been borrowing since they came into power. The difference is that it should vary Congo like it was then because they can't account for the money they've borrowed. They can't. And when you try to raise issues now in Parliament, no, and I'm so surprised and disappointed that parliamentarians can't speak and ask questions that you're asking me. Because this government has borrowed lots more money than we borrowed. And no one is querying them. Money, I hope things are okay, but the truth of the matter is that it's a lie. What these people were doing was to demonize and make it appear like it was a loan which was insurmountable. But it wasn't insurmountable, only that they didn't give us breathing space. They were stampeding us, and they were very good at propaganda. Propaganda, they managed to convince the people that we have overborrowed to a point where this country is about to collapse. And you know, they got articulate, enlightened, intelligent, sophisticated, eloquent youngsters to talk on radio, television, and make it appear, you know, it is not true. We had borrowed, yes, and we were going to pay. And if we had been in charge of the country by now, we would have found a way of resolving this, the indebtedness. But what they say, because what we borrowed, we used. What we used it for is visible. They've borrowed much more than we borrowed. And where the money is, God knows. So,
Your Excellency, mwishikuishinono shimkwai, dollar yadifikile 27, one kwacha is go to 27, I mean $1 is go to 27 kwacha. Ishikuishinono shipitile, wote kwa YPND na uombe shokumuna utila. Dollar at the moment is 23, 24, avoided trending in Ampai. What can you say, yes, as a former head of state?
Give it 1 week, give it 2 weeks. You will see the backlash when this thing fails. Because we hope that maybe they could naps somewhere, as we have been told. Because it doesn't work like that. What will happen is that that drip of money they put in the coin will soon run out. And then the true value of the kwacha against the dollar will just hit the roof, the ceiling, and so on. So for me, dollar take question. Let's allow certain things take their natural course. I'm giving you 2 weeks at most. Then you see the real effect of the measures they've taken, and you come and tell me this economy may just even collapse. And once you even mop up all the money from government accounts and so on, you think you are doing the right thing. Tansi.
Do you plan to stand as a president in 2026? Ushe nangu atakuwa mapanga mkwai ya Simon in 2026.
Ile naishi nadhani na T.
Olo mrefu afya kupususha chipani cha PF.
Chondefu aisha sana kupususha PF. PF ya mpanga vino ula PF ngashaba pana. Tetinde geresi wasompole PF wa MP badia. Nende tamba wena ndefu bachita. Basampa mpula fesa wa nitole tefu bachita. PF yesu bonse. So we need to have a democratic process and dispensation in PF. We get a new leader at the appropriate time and we feature him. But on the side of this, we will not allow democracy to die by having the treatment they're giving to PF be scaled up to other political parties. For me, I've already said that in Gavan, Fire, Bazan, but the Lungu, no one have weighed up. Can't weigh it up. Gazagwe, but Baisa, but PF tend to make a poem, to make a poem. But like the bigger picture I'm portraying now, we've got Uka. Bauka belibala na tukabomba na boy. Na wakati support kwa PF na twasala intungusha kwa timu tukabomba. Because mu kama kwa nifini. Muri chipani cha ba nyaba ba nisu wasabiwa skota. Muri chipani cha ba Slavwe, muri chipani cha ba Harikalaba, muri chipani cha ba Saboyimboela, muri chipani cha ba Pule, muri chipani cha ba Nawakwi, cha Mavula cha ba Nawakwi. Tuna chipani chimbi shabani na mwenyewe katika ana tulivengi we about 9-10 already who have come on this platform. So therefore I say tumia pi tusuishe utego ulipo tufaile povumbi bukweto kuchindika abantu mwivombele no freedoms in speech, freedom of speech, no freedom, even the freedom to own property. Walipo kweba tuwe muntu wapilo kushita inganda walipo 20 years walikonga nokukongola wapilo kushita inganda those days kushinga lishinga bale kushita inganda basa batiwe waibide vantu wali mu PF mutitikisha abantu mulira ishate kutipilo kubayo nangu yo pantu li November twala kufunya hapo hapa tuwikepo umtundumbi tefu difilo kubayo. We have seen so much injustice. So once tulela na zakuti ati rutie ngobale leta mu Zambia lwala pwafenga kwa deposit wa umaka bitu wasulisha nyokwe bati abatevu aba abantu bali lukyaze twali pusa kwenu tefu kwa ngobambi nawo tukaleta kuna bo itie wakashami na takwe bati na tuiluka so whoever is going to be president in 2026 and beyond akose sana and we will not give him the space we have given this gentleman.
Okay. Kashingwa bakonfongere mwisule filimba ngwa itulera chanya former head of state au ni Dr. Edgar Chagwarungu kunonganda mna masawadi tweetonta pa 89.7 FM vangu kuti mwatumfa kwa iko mfia Radio Garden Radio FM, that's digital platform. Ndona wanenso ngwa ukufuma kuma radio station ni ale kana kwa Muchinga province, Northern province na Luapula province vale kutika ngwa wino live. Ngwa itwise kulipu cholimbi excellency Dr. Edgar Chagwarungu. Ichintu chimwe chalengera utira ichipani cha PF tifuma maka vambi valeti ni cardinalism tamwali peace in Zambia. If I told, since mletinga avena Zambia vanje wakutira wekera pampando, are you going to allow what used to happen, or if you are chitigangwai iliashi kadrende chwemo, if you are chitigangwai, if you are cardinalism evale lishanyapa abantu nokutira yota mwali mutende wino mzambia ushe kutifile fintu fyogerapo mashi wayashane mungu
no so ngabye bazavuye bati cardinalism eko yali na ino inishita cardinalism eko hii nomba chapsene buzakwe bati sensational and the exaggerational interpretation of cardinalism during our time foolish why do you bati ile vale shirikati there was gun culture. Every day in Futisharelida for city market. Honorable Kamchong was my minister of Home Affairs. I can't remember whether there was a time when we had guns being fired every day at the city market. Guns being fired at Intercity every day. They had this knack for exaggeration. Okay. vakati gift yakuti exaggerate nokuvepa vantu to a point where people begin believing that if I don't feel cheating. That's why I know myself. But what I can tell you is that yes, there was cannibalism to some extent, but it was exaggerated in the way it was perceived and reported because of our friends' investment in propaganda and falsehood. But going into the future, these Zambians have said yes, they don't want to have cannibalism. We'll make sure we take measures in place to ensure that cannibalism is eradicated, which they've not done. So if we're not in that power, either as UCA or as PF, whoever will be in charge, and no making sure what's left in one change. The truth is that because yes, capitalism was there, yes. But the way they put it, there was a time when the head of state was in Angola, and he was saying you couldn't hold a function. Firewood, there was what do you call it's gunfire, violence everywhere. There was a time when he was attending some function somewhere. And I said, I contacted my colleague who was former minister. I said, Minister, because the way they painted it, if you watch Panglefi, if you want to say, for the reason if you want to yes, but not the extent they portrayed. That I can say. But I'm not supporting capitalism. I'm saying capitalism is bad, whatever it is. So let's root it out. But imagine that it was as exaggerated as it is being said, and that's why we left power. If that is why we left power, when we come back, we'll sort it out.
You are trying to bring politics in church.
Now, there was church before I became a minister, before I became a politician, when I became president, I even told the Shuma people that Ngamampunyapo, Kalaisa Church. No matter how church food in politics food, Navale think that I will to Palesa Luavo. Because there is a work, there is a work with a Yonse. That's what we are. So very long about to go to church, to buy a but you have a church, Chipope, we have a church in England. So I'm going to have a church with us, because I'm going to have a church. No mchimoleka kuna paishi wala mkosesha abantu ati yo yaona zambe pale chula fika pita nisaka mna sana fika pita mashu ya china Kristu ili ingia pela confidence and hope. So we continue going to church because like I said, that time I went to church in Mtendere, I said yes, we have lost power, but we have not lost the favor of God, because God is still with us. We are His children, and He will look after us, He will protect us, and we will keep worshiping Him, whether you like it or not. And ever from the statement back from that's why I went to church. So that's actually true. By now I have a church.
I'm quite. Konfongo trailer na former head of state wa Dr. Edgar Lungu kuna nganda mlawasa kuwa delight kwiton tampai.
No, by the way, not tampai ku church. Have you noticed? Mari umfati. My face is about the 18th day of October, the useless day of Imposa vuvela kuveja apapele masweshwale vati yo tulete palesa so
mkwai tuweze kulia shifuti na kabiri yao Mosampa watu wachikumako wame bareti efe wachitewa Mosampa pa 24 October nichi mochine nefya chitike imo excellence ntumwale mwamu vami pere ukutira muwe wa president ava PF kumurungushi it's just the same. Alexa revenge.
They were delegates as provided for in the Constitution, and there were the council members and the conference members and so on. And the chairman was there, and we held a meeting. And that meeting elected by proclamation me as the president. There was nothing like any conference which was held on 24th October 2023. They were not delegates who came from Sali, from Dola, from anywhere. People who came were just hand-picked revelers who came to enjoy themselves. Abashile kunoti abalima delegates besu kulingana nechikomo chesu chaPF constitution yeIreland lokela likabasala ntungulushi. Echilenga abantu bale elishani. There was nothing like that kumulungushi when I was elected. I was elected by the conference. So what our political party whatever kulingana if you achitike kunuma if to not tell this story. The records are there. We went to Aline once for a quarter meeting. Wherever so drama delegates from districts, for constituencies, one secondary from provinces, the chairman of the conference was there, and Panuma by by proclamation, by decree, there was a processes while by sealed ballot, by lifting of hands. Even sometimes you told that we by acclamation was into English. So if a process to have one patient twice by acclamation, because I was the only candidate at that meeting. So there's no way they can say it was not an election, no. And this history is quite recent. This history was covered, if it was NBC, like Watama, footages and so on, if it was Saturday and so on. And even going into courts and all those things is all documented. Number again about who from Tungu myself, Kuba send abantu kuchama. Why about kuchama? Never for you know. About something ngombe tin. Ashimishile mukupumula. Bakashaka nono bachinja bati yo mwalasa ntungulushi. Twalasa ntungulushi. You know. Sema dusulia kwa
Your Excellency, good for tomorrow. Ukumfa mkwai. Ukufuma po atendekere mkwai ukuteka ichalo ba UPND up to date. Ni pesa po mlemo na wale pusa mkwai kumonotira if you tutafire yenda uno since you said mwachirano kuti atapawa nife wabo mbako kufuma.
Okay, today first you wabo mbako bono rani. Man you see, man 10-point plan. Which one is working? I can see it. Now which one? Umundu ngana ikuta. That now ikuta. Ngana ikuta ngana no ninji kutai. Ask any Zambian. Don't ask me because me I will be perceived to be prejudiced because I lost and I'm bitter. Ask any Zambian and say, "She read Monashan." Forget about the praise singers, but just an ordinary Zambian in the health sector, in the education sector, in the mining sector. You don't name it, what fish bubble. It's nothing. Maintenance of law and order, in administration of justice. And you can tell. Okay, I will say something, but don't quote me. Now, you're a journalist, you should know these things. So, even the interview, right now, I think we take a possible money. One thing is Bashuli, sana sana big farmers, na commercial farmers weka kwa mwangu wangu kwa time for irrigation. Kwa itabanza kwa tiko if you are kulia. And the food that is there now cannot last. Ile kumwalo muta pale ile fuma. So it was.
Yalo kumona pa drought ya uchalo cha Zambia. What do you think the government should do to abantu bekafanensa?
Go engage Zambia National Farmers Union, Small Scale Farmers Union. Talk to the banks and see what products can they put on the market to just help these people. You know, if you need to be supported by the government to ensure that they get special rates and so on. Otherwise, this year, abantu bashabadila bakongola po indalama kubuteko. Na bakongwesha indalama shakulini. You know that, eh? There is this much talked about parliamentary and there's a scheme they brought that kakongela indalama ku bank. Mulimi. Ero balima. I heard a story which I'm trying to verify. Somebody in Chongo, I and this is the story I heard yesterday because I can't believe you and the upbringing and about security and other things. So this is where we are. So when we take over Jabis Zimba Zambia National Farmers Union, Kweva Tinga Africa, a fish wing at Chita, Mweva fish vision. Something. But it's not too bad, it's not like we've lost everything. Something can happen, if you're you can solve the situation by just engaging these people to our matter of question. When you're honest, you put your card on the table, you go as you take, farmers union, you go small scale farmers. You never say, never have our small scale. To allow me for shine, but what to have way. You see, by chef, who take away chef, we are going to allow me for shine, but what you want to have way, I want to have kunsala unomwaka. Fani file mwone kama saiza ya wewe ati wewe imutu. That's what I would do.
Nkwa. Kashimpa wa komfort chichole na chalimpa na former head of state aba tekelepe chalo cha Zambia abanyuma Dr. Edgar Lungu. Ero today towards the end of our interview kutina temwa mkwai watu rondolwera mkwai ngaba ntuchakutira batira yo wa Edgar Lungu wawelelepo pampando. Tuwalilepo mkwai ku agriculture sector ngachakutira abantu batira mbwere kuti mwabomberapo shani ngwa agriculture.
You see, agriculture is a very big industry. Agriculture ababomba sana mugu lokola bulimi bwa nyanja mu kyalo. They are small scale farmers. Abene bamana batata bati balima fye kunoma farm byafine kumushi tubulimi babombe sana. So tuwapo kwebati tuwalolesha pamibombele yabo. Considering if you are chitika pakati fish tunalena abona if butter tunalena we have to start afresh. Twala bulimi fantanshi kwebati mubulimi mwabaka profit. Balaba lelima basanga mu bukumu. Nabalaba leshita kuna binanga bashitisha nabo basanga mu bukumu. Nabalaba leshita bayagana basanga mu something. So chikala mbalingana na bulimi. But what we see 2-3 years ago, take probably no, but now so in short, we need to take a fresh look at agriculture and bring measures which will be short-term measures, okay, to ensure that farming again, especially on the basic crop, is increased and productivity and the quality or quantity of the maize is enhanced. And what you need to know is that so you see, we will need to find money to subsidize agriculture again, production. Okay. Otherwise, if period we will need to look for money to subsidize agriculture, especially on the staple food, so that we bring in enough food, we have enough reserves. So on short term, the immediate term.
You don't need to subsidy what about the quality from you?
When I met your subsidies, you remember 1 week ago, I went to your subsidy, you remember? They were saying the money we're using for subsidizing the fuel prices is over, so we're going to increase. Earlier when they were saying there is no room for subsidies. That's why they should have subsidies. You invoke subsidies from time to time. Even in some advanced countries, they do subsidize certain areas of production, certain sectors of the economy. That is how it has worked.
Tuisekulia shia masambiro mkwai. Ngaja uchira mwabwela mumaka. Kutumwa mwemila posha. Education sector.
Not if you have free education. We have to revisit what we are seeing. There's no quality education. I want to be a pharmacist because I like farming. But that's a joke. But I'm telling you that they've diluted the level of education and the quality of education. It's unfair, especially to those people. What I'm learning is that I'm learning to some of them. They're taking their children to private schools and so on. But how many can afford? The quality of education is zero, which is coming from there. So I think that free education, when we come back. If I come back as president, if whoever will come back as president, so whoever will come, we will force him to take a look at this free education. This is not free education. This is I don't know what I can call it. What can I call it for what of the tests? We went by a few you know, because it's a village sky. Teacher is actually book 300 books achonge 300 students aveshive avachina evaluate pakuevatisho uyu kama mbala kali kama posta kali posta kwa mano akabike enyu uyu ane bombi kuchenjere kuti atungurana. Teaching is supposed to be relationship with the learner and the teacher, and you get to know the characteristics of the student to help the student acquire knowledge. But if you don't have that possibility, because I'm overwhelmed, we pencil or refundisha abana bali mu class tafile bomba mwila vepata file bomba. Free education tefe ifunoko. The concept of free education should be revisited and we ensure that we give quality education to our children, especially the underprivileged, who can speak for themselves. And then, even because of the too much work on the teacher, you can't even find private tuition in these government schools. Those days, the teacher didn't do some assembly about it. But there's no time to do private schools where free education is. Because the teacher has no time. Because teaching means that you first have to do the work plan, schedule, and then you go and work. After working, you bring the books back home, you teacher the tuition. Teacher has to prepare for exams. Abanangu bale tuition. Na besa la masukuru. Teacher le chonga ba exams. Ngapusha kuchonga ma exams ya. Teacher wekela mufuti mkitambo kusandisha. And then you kumishu which ways because one teacher just sandisha ma class much more than one class. Ma subjects yonse and so on mwalisho na official. So pre-education in India. Kutikata mumenso ba.
Mkwae, tuisa kudia shi iya health mkwae, ubumi, kutumasa bombela poshani, ngacho kutira mwabodi.
Ubumi, private washi is able to work because nothing has happened. We have it in our manifesto, and we wanted to make sure that we have health facilities in the accessible so that you don't have to go into a fish, Teresa, and we are clinic, and so on. I have now in Panaba. The fish was so left for our doctor, medical assistant, and so on. That's what we rolled out. So, in short, I put why she did 2021, but then that we were able to get at 2026, and the Pisang, put why she did. That's not about you now. Look at that.
I'm quite. This is a infrastructure to our money, quite the Amadico. Finger from Makulide. Ngajawatra Mambo in 2026. Mukakonganyapo or Bombera Kulifim.
Tulingana kankara tumfile mwaisho kulenda sanga 2026 ukesa ba president akakoshe sana vandu shakasange pya twashile akasanga la fiona ukevingi ngamlia tusesele there will be no new development yominga sonta by 2026 kwati ifi bali kulile bali bundile para pashile bapie ifingi tukasanga tapile twashile vandu vingi bali but chikalamba chakwe vati tikuye twarande chingo kwe vati vile omuleteka vile mwaisho kwe vati succession ifile ya konkanyaka balapashiri ya lema konkanyaka umone ilio ba unit baile hapo bashirire chale fwaikwa ba MMD balepa konkanyako babele bashirire nga buya ntanshi wa milimo ya makula infrastructure nga buya ntanshi wa milimo ya bulimi papere mwachinja ko vya finish bombi fishane bomba but isha chitikita kwe batilo baishe ba MMD ba esabisha tuwekela kunuma paisa isa ba PF bali zishina makayo nsi kuwa para shida banavo industry ya shida banavo. That's why we are very very successful. No mbaba beshi tabane kula para twashile baisa kanya milimo imbili kankale twakwete mapangere so sila kwete bashine gushitwa bati okay mwalepo bati uli bilerishi ni 20 years but uli 30 years bashine negotiate na malons wakwete wene abakawusha kumyo. We needed that kind of thing. So in short, when we come back I'm saying when we come back, mark my words, when we come back, we'll make sure that we continue where it's possible for us to continue and start afresh where it will be imperative that we start afresh. Because it's continuous succession. It's perpetual succession. Because they're trashing it. That's why I don't.
Road network very important in the country. Let's with a host Honorable Kampiongo Kumunawasa panopene padira twitonta vala nilokutira imisebo yamchinsali vali kansa ama contract imwe ngachawutira mwabwera mu 2026 ushangwa kumanyapa na road network ya ama projects ya wakaza
kutwa like I said kutwa wena ichwebwena kumona kwebati zamilimo.
For example, muchinga kwa chama Matumbo Road right now nalelanda na wakanave samkwai va Lungu vale lishanya kutira tawakwanisha kucrossa na mamotokwe kwacha makudia emkwai so vale lomba nomba mwanga chakutira mwai samkwai kuti mwakunganyamba na road network chama Matumbo Road mulira solo mundu road
you see ndomwa pange misebo uyantashwa fisha. Immediately you do a road between Chama and Matumbo, Nishita, Yanchendega, Maisula, no Makumiri, Muyawi and Tansh. Now, Pango Musevo, like that road from Nakonde, which goes into Mbala Street. Yeah, if you have distance and young. So, there are a lot of roads which they've cancelled, which will have to start. Goods and services will be delivered very quickly. So you don't have to be a very intelligent person to know that. But I can tell you that that's a program of actions which we embarked upon, which was suspended or derailed because of loss of power. And when we come back, certainly we want to continue without fail.
Twisegwedia shingwai imisepera na wanamayo musherifishe fomu inga wagombera I point kwa ya kurekeresha leo tusondoro ile mkwai FM kwa chitira mkwai wanamayo nemisepera ngachakutra avena Zambia batira badiga Lungu wele na kavi
wanamayo nemisepera they are a key component of our community. And we want to create criminal activities and all these things which we are complaining about, social vices and so on. They come from lack of care for the youth. So we have planned our manifesto. Our manifesto, in fact, in the way I should look for manifesto is why I want to have So I'd like to believe that skills centers which we had started, I don't know how they are doing it. Some of them please can give you a better picture. You know, when you impart skills, you begin supporting them by looking for business opportunities for them. I know they tried the trucks and tankers and other things, but that was nothing. But there is much more where you can get people to train in skills, in agriculture, for example. And then you ask institutions, banking and financial institutions, to see how they can help them with the small loans to sustain their businesses, welding machines and all those things. All those things help. So it's an entire spectrum of economic activities in which children, our youth can get involved. And when you talk about manufacturing, the model which we've seen in India and other countries, they're built on the small scale industry. People welding things behind in their backyard, supplying them to a big manufacturer who puts them on Tata motor vehicles or whatever we make, and that goes. So for me, we don't have to reinvent the wheel in some areas because these things have been tested and they've worked. The government cannot say no if we're focus on getting the machine. By the way, you should know that the government is not a business where you go to make money or save money. Government is where you go to spend the money for the goodness of the people you have. So, whatever government nchitokufunyendera mana kupera abantu kwatubume government kupaendera mukwadise waiwe bwino amanoro yave government kupaendera mukwebazi dabalimi bakwate mishikana ngama markets government ifulere kunyapindira mali yose nefosa you cannot say no we are here to save money. No, when you're in government you have to make sure abantu bale pangendera. But those big boys in the industry, when they make money, you go there and say, "Don't mind, I'm going to pay me some taxes and so on." That's what we do. So you're supposed to be a stakeholder in the business of the economy as a government by ensuring that the access is given to far-flung areas where people are not able to reach and extract economic activities and values from there. So you can never tell but I don't know how to take instead of doing a scope of the uteko kufunyengerama wawamye miseko uteko kufunyengerama wawamye masukuru uteko kufunye miseko watola malaiti watola mesh communication so that vana folk yatu vanopia ntaishi kumporokoso kana mundu ile vatwala kumwangu wangu vayakule fintu kulia fialo ndoroka kwangu wangu nayo kwata malaiti then uteko wapila mundu ile cha mundu ile taxi guy so epo fialo. You don't go to government to say, no, I want to save money, I want to make money. No. That's not your responsibility.
Don't quite. Your Excellency, kwa kumpera program yesu, amashi wa yapsondo.
Awe, ukani bazambia, ukeni. Lwendo. Yana mukile na unamukwaka midriblo. Ningalati.
Don't quite.
Emusha ningalati.
Chapo. Ukutira ukeni.
Ukeni.
Don't quite. Kachima kumfuatu wafika kumpera ya program yesu, iyalero special interview. Eyo twachukua tokula cha nyamkwai na former head of state awacharo yesu cha Zambia awani ma Dr. Edgar chagwa Lungu ama totele kuli imirawasa yale kanonekana mkwai kufuma kulia Kuluwapula Northern na Muchinga province hapo hapali na Konde FM ukoni kuna Konde mkwai kufuma Muchinga province ero na Pika FM ukufuma kumpika Chete FM ukufuma kuna Konde ISO FM ukufuma kulia kuisoka na Radio Gillette Kwitonta as the host radio station mnomwina mkwai mu Muchinga province ero mkwai palina Radio Luswepo ukufuma kulia kumbala Radio Walamo ukufuma kumpulungu ero mkwai na Kasama FM ukufuma kukasama Radio Mano ukufuma kukasama KFM ukufuma kumansa ero na Radio Liangeni ukufuma kulia kumansa na tutata sana bakomfa mwachiwana ino muntu wenu Harrison Piri nga kutikeko na kabiri ushkumbe mkwai shale nipo.
I had to pretend to be soft on the HH, you need him to lower his guns. No!